So we'll walk past you and you follow us past.
Yeah.
We'll probably stop in front of you for a second or two.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're going to be talking on
You're a
that.
genius, yeah. 1, 2. I've been. Oh, that's too simple. In food.
You mean hundreds and thousands?
Hundreds and pounds. I've not had those. I'd like to try those.
Hundreds and thousands.
Okay.
So this is the...
It's always good. Welcome to a brand new favourite places to knit. Yay! We are walking on the most amazing track. This was, well, Kay, you tell me.
This was, I need to remember from my book, it was the original track of that George Stephenson built in 1836.
Now, if you remember, we covered George Stephenson, I think it was back in episode 36. I'll stick a link in the show notes before, when we did our Age of Steam episode. So George Stephenson, within 10 years of him building his first passenger railway, he was here linking Whitby to the rest of the world. Welcome to the utterly stunning North York Moors. Now, we're going to be talking a lot about Harry Potter today, but we're going to start our journey with a 4-mile walk through this beautiful part of England. Now, here it is. As you can see, it's right in the middle of the country. The moors link the Yorkshire Dales with the east coast of England. It's a moorland plateau in essence, and it's intersected with a number of deep valleys, and we're going to be walking right through these in the first part of our hunt for Harry Potter. Now, this is Incline Cottage. This was built in 1845 and it used to be a pair of railway cottages. Workers would live here and then they would work on the lines which intersect an awful lot of those dales that we spoke about that are all over the North York Moors. And next to Incline Cottage we found this, a small apple orchard which, from a sign that we found, is looking to preserve some of the most ancient English varieties. Now, you may remember back in episode 36 of our podcast, we covered the Age of Steam, and by episode 37 we were talking about one of the biggest and most important men of global railway, and that was George Stephenson. By 1831, he'd been asked by Whitby businessmen to draw up a plan for making a railway to run from Whitby to Pickering. Whitby was so far out, so far removed, and obviously this is before the days of cars. The only way you could really get in and out properly was by boat, and that wasn't happening too much. So you've got an awful lot of businesses out in Whitby and they wanted to get customers in. So what's the perfect thing to do? Employ George Stephenson to build them a railway, and that's the line that we're walking along now. This is the original 1836 railway line. So we're in the middle of the North York Moors, and look at Kay, she's crossing some stepping stones down there. I wanted to show you these. These are the original footings of the railway line that was laid by Stevenson that we spoke about a minute ago. It's really stunning countryside, and whilst I used to live quite close to here, I've never been here before, and it's just beautiful. And the rail journey that we're heading towards, we know is going to be amazing. So let's crack on and see if we can find the station. Sadly, this isn't the station we're looking for. The girls are desperate to get on a steam train, but this is completely gone. It's vanished. Now, it was originally open when the line was opened, and it saw years and years of use, and the reason being is there was an awful lot of ironstone mining going on in the local area.
What have you found?
In 1859, drift mines were driven into the hillside and blast furnaces erected. The air around this part of the world then would have been filled with like a sulphurous smog, the roar of a fire and the sound of men as they worked the ironstone. You can't imagine it now, can you? Those foundations below there that we've just seen are 150-year-old footings for the old railway bridge. That was taken away when the line stopped being used in the mid-1800s, and this footbridge, very modern footbridge, built over the top. Now, ironstone mining always means you need an awful lot of contraptions and bridges and all sorts to get what you've taken out of the ground up to where it's then going to be worked in the furnaces. And here we found ghostly remains, really, of exactly that. Let's take a look. And if you're going to export, export's the wrong word, you know when you get iron ore out of the ground?
Yeah.
So if you're going to dig out iron ore, you need some sort of mechanism to move it from the mine up to the trains, and this was part of the mechanism. So this was built by the Whitby Stone Company. That's hard to say. It's built by the Whitby Stone Company about 1846, and it was all because of Robert Stevenson. You remember who we covered when we went to Darlington Railway Museum? He'd built a tunnel through a hill, and he'd found iron ore, and that's the reason why this appeared here. Now the question is, of course, what are we doing in the middle of the Yorkshire Dales? We're on the hunt for someone very special. Yes, it's the first part of the hunt for Harry Potter. Now, we're not here to talk about history, are we? What do you want to go for a ride on?
A train.
Yes. Now, what type of train would you like to go for a ride on?
A steam train, please.
Now, I think we should go find a railway station, do you?
Okay.
Yay! And here we are, and that down there is Gromont Station. Now, until George Stephenson arrived with his trains, things had been rather quiet in Gromont since 1536. Back then, there was a priory of Grandemontine monks, but they, unfortunately, in 1536, had been dissolved by Henry VIII. This, though, is the Church of St Matthew, and have a listen. As you'll often find in the summer months in England, you have a fair at the church going on, and there was some brilliant little stalls, and there was a whack the rat. I don't know if anyone knows what that is. It's not a real rat, it's just a toy that someone drops down a tube. You have to try and catch it on the way, and if you do, you win a prize. I wonder where that game comes from, actually, and I wonder if people in other parts of the world have got no clue what I'm talking about. Now, we're walking along the railway tracks, and this is the track that we're going to be taking in just a few moments on the steam train to Hogsmeade. And this is the home of the North York Moors Railway, so it's a very bustling place. And I think that's wonderful when you consider that when this station was first built, and here we go now, we're now walking over that blue bridge that we saw just back when Kay and Bryony were sat on top of the hill. We did a little zoom in and you could see the station, the blue bridge in front.
Hey Kay,
and this is that bridge we're now walking over to get into the station. What I love about Gromont Station is it marries the new with the old. You can see over there just the most beautiful Pullman coach, and it was some sort of dining coach. There it is, look up there, that's where Kay and Bryony were sat. So, as I said, it marries the old and the new, and this here is the new. That is a normal rail line where you can catch a normal British rail train that will get you into any station all over the country. And amazing to find that sat on the platform right next to all these heritage trains. You've got heritage diesel and steam trains and guards dressed how they used to be, and waiting rooms. And Kay's going to talk a little bit later about how amazing the loos were. When this station was built back in 1865, no, in fact, I think it was even earlier than that, wasn't it? The station, it was built between 1840 and 1850. And when this station first appeared, they weren't trying to make something picturesque and stunning. They were just building something, as you built things then, a workable station that would be used for moving people around the country. And I so wish that they still built stations like this now. Now, this line that we're going to be going on is the North York Moors Heritage Rail Line. And from that line, trains like this depart regularly. That will be a very special train that you have to book to go on, where you get your dinner, and it will be very posh, very sort of Orient Express-esque. And they do special ones at Christmas, and it takes you back to how people used to travel. And do you know what? We felt this when we actually got on the train, and you'll see us talk about this later. If trains were still like this, I tell you something, I would use them an awful lot more. I think we've lost a certain amount of the magic. There's something very special, isn't there, I think, being pulled by steam. And that is where we're going to pick up the story when you come back to us later on in the show, as we board the Hogwarts Express and discover Hogsmeade Station. Aren't we meanies? We've only just got to the train, and now you're stuck with us back here at the Bakery Bear's cottage.
So mean.
It's no good. What a day.
It was lovely.
What a day.
I'm glad it wasn't as hot as it is today.
Well, it was hot enough.
I would have expired. I
wouldn't have
almost
gone.
did expire, but I would have completely expired if it was...
Never ever. We're finding, I don't know if anyone else in the UK, maybe it's a global thing. No, it can't be. In the UK, we find, if we look at the weather, at the moment, it's never right. Because the day we went,
That's
it was
true.
supposed to be cloudy.
Cloudy all day.
It was supposed to be like
and
half an hour of sun on the morning.
Yeah, and like 18 degrees C and cloudy, which would have been perfect for walking. It was blazing sun.
Yeah.
And in the 20s.
No, we're not complaining, but it just would be nice if
Yeah.
you could... I remember in the old days, when you got the weather forecast, they were normally fairly close.
Yeah.
My theory is that they forecast now, and they're actually forecasting for the south of England.
Well, it does sort of focus around the south.
So actually, we could do a test. Anyone in the south of England, could you tell us if when you look at the weather, does it actually
Is it
reflect
right?
what actually happens that day? Because if they're wrong too, then the whole thing is all...
I think it's right today, because down south today, it's Tuesday today, down south today it's like going to be 34, 35 degrees C, I
This
believe.
must be the easiest weather though to predict, because you
Well,
must be able to see it coming a mile off.
Yeah.
There's like no cloud, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Right, okay, it's going to be warm.
And it's going to be 30 degrees C here today, which is for us is incredibly hot. And I know for some of you it's probably normal, but it's not for us. But luckily it's only yesterday was hot, today is the hottest, tomorrow's going to be quite hot, and then Thursday it's going to be back to sort of normal.
Last night...
It was so warm last night.
But I love it when you turn the radio on in the morning. I have a very strict routine in the morning. Get up, go for a run, come home, radio on, listen to the news while I'm having a shower. And the guy on the weather said, if you thought last night was bad,
Oh, really?
get ready for tonight.
They're really sticky and hot at night, you know, and you can kind of cope with it during the day, but when you're trying to sleep, it's just horrendous. And of course, you know, we don't have air conditioning in this country in houses. It's just not necessary, really. So when it's hot indoors, you know, it's properly hot.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I'm so sorry that we got you so close to getting on the Hogwarts Express and then going to
cut
Hogsmeade.
to us,
and
but
then
we'll be back. We'll go back.
Don't worry. Yeah,
Later
later on in the show. Very, very different favourite places to knit for us, that one. Because, it was more reminiscent of actually the Bakery Bears picnic, which is, of course, the hidden histories of Great Britain.
After should we say what we did? I mean, we parked at Gromont.
Well, they know.
Oh, they know already.
Yeah.
Oh,
they know what we've done. They've just trekked with us for 4 miles.
Oh, right, yeah, and we did this long walk afterwards. It was a beautiful walk, and Bryony was fantastic, wasn't she? She managed it really well.
She was really good, and she kept saying, which I was really pleased about, she kept saying, I said to her, what did you enjoy? Because I thought she was going to say, Hogsmeade or going on the train, or I really enjoyed the walk. Why is that, Daddy? Because then when you get home and sit on the sofa, then a rest is really a rest.
Yeah.
I said, that's great. That's exactly right. Much better to go out and do stuff and then come home and appreciate.
And it was a lovely walk, and it was all downhill, which, is great, but it is quite hard on your legs, isn't it, going downhill all
That's
the time?
rare though, isn't it? Finding a walk that is pretty much downhill the whole way.
But it was all downhill until the very last bit. When we were coming back into Goathland, and then it was like uphill. So after 3.5 miles, you're like this, and then you had to go up this really steep hill. And as we were coming down, there were people walking down from town with like ice lollies.
Yeah, you're like,
taunting us with their ice lollies.
Let me have one.
I said to Bryony, look, ice lollies.
We found I don't know if it was the world's. I think it must be.
Oh, the co-op.
Was the earliest recorded cooperative. Amazing.
Yeah.
And on the inside, it was like wood everywhere.
It was,
I love that island in the middle with all the. It's an amazing little shop.
Just this little shop we went in to get some drinks, because we drank every drop of water we took with us, even though we took quite a lot. We just
remember
drank
that film?
everything.
It was like Ice Cold in Alex.
And it was like that. Yeah.
Why do they remake terrible films? But I suppose you couldn't remake that because it's such a classic.
No, it's a fantastic film. If you've never seen Ice Cold in Alex, you've got to watch it. It's a fantastic film.
There's that brilliant film about a very similar film I find to Ice Cold in Alex, where they crash land in the desert in a plane and then they fly to the Phoenix.
Fly to the Phoenix.
They remade that.
Right.
So, but maybe it is a case of...
I wouldn't want them to remake it. It's John Mills, isn't it? You can't replace John Mills.
Didn't he played a village idiot in a film?
Oh, he was a genius. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it now.
And is his daughter...
Hayley Mills.
And what was she in?
Oh.
I'm asking you.
You are.
I'm sorry.
She's been in all sorts, Hayley Mills. She was in a very famous film when she was young, wasn't she, as a child?
You know the house in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Oh yes, I've researched that house.
And didn't she used to own it?
Oh, I don't know about that. I can't remember that much.
I think she did.
But I did once look into the the house with the windmill.
I think she
and
used
it's
to
in
own
a little village, and you could see. I found it on Google Maps, and it looked pretty much exactly the same. Yeah.
Yes, we will be returning. Well, not returning. We'll be going to Hogsmeade later on in the show. So I'm sure you want us to get cracking. So we will. You can ask me first.
Oh right, okay.
Ha ha ha.
Jones.
Yes.
Oh, this is lovely.
Yes.
What's on yours?
It is, and I have been knitting on this.
Yeah.
I hope you can see.
I can see that you've
Good.
done some on that. It's so like him, isn't it?
Yes.
Her.
Well,
is it a girl or a boy?
This is a funny story, and I won't dwell on it too long, but this is, of course, my BB-8 Bankhead hat. I'm still knitting the ribbon, but that's because this is definitely... Is thin... Is it...
It's thinner than a worsted. It's kind of like more of a DK, I would say.
It's the thinnest yarn I've ever knit with. I mean, sometimes it goes down.
It does.
To minute.
It's probably
It's great.
Yeah, it's thick and thin, but DK.
It's hand spun, just how I like it.
Thickest, I would say.
So this is Dreams in Fibre BB-8 hand spun, hand dyed yarn.
Lovely,
and,
Erica.
Yep, and the reason why Kay said, is it a he or a she? That's what you said, wasn't it?
I did.
Yes. What happened was, I researched Star Wars to a stupid level.
No, I can't imagine that.
I normally do a search on Star Wars on Google once a day, just to find out if there's any new news. And very early on, they said that BB-8 was going to be a girl. And then it changed. I believe it changed because when they cast the voice actors to be the voice of BB-8, they were guys.
Right.
And they felt that they would get into trouble by saying it was a girl robot and having guys do the voice. So I'm sure I've read that somewhere as well, but BB-8 was definitely going to be a girl. And I think she should have been a girl. Because there aren't...
I think she's a feminine robot.
I can't think of one girl robot in Star Wars, and that's just not right. And there must be. If there's boy robots, which there clearly is.
C-3PO is clearly a boy.
Yes, and R2-D2 also is a boy. Yeah. So it would have been lovely if BB-8 had been a girl. And I think to Bryony, she always sort of will be a girl, and she always sort of looks at me disappointedly when someone ends up calling her he in one of the films. So she was due to be a girl. She's now in fact a boy. This is of course the hat by Susie Gawley.
There's the lovely
yarn.
Oh, look, it looks just like.
And I tell you what,
I can cover your entire head with a ball of yarn.
What has been inspiring me to get cracking on this, and this is why I love handspun and I love hand-dyed yarn, is the orange. As soon as the orange came in, you're like,
it's perfect.
Go. I want to see more of it. And I was like, I really wanted to get a full round of the orange in. And then it started to get a bit thicker. And I thought, I want to see more. So I'm like going more and more. So yeah, it's really lovely.
It's lovely.
Yes. It's been a funny couple of weeks for me knitting-wise, because I have found myself really going at it on the vanishing point.
You have, and you're up to the decreases, aren't you now? Oh,
yeah.
Should I have said that?
Yeah, of course. And I'll be showing the vanishing point later.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's such a commitment, and I just thought that I just need to knuckle down and get this nailed.
Yeah.
But I must have knit that much.
Well, you'd only just got the black and a bit of the white, the one I saw. So
yeah.
You've done
I mean, I think I've done, for me, that's quite a bit. That is my backend. Kay Jones, what's on your needles?
Well. Shall we talk about this again?
But this is a good thing, because you realised what the problem is.
I think I have solved a sock problem.
Talk about the summer of socks. You can shut up, Francisco, with your tune and your singing.
I know. I haven't knit on my socks very much in the past couple of weeks because of this dilemma with my gauge. And it's just suddenly dawned on me this morning what I think the problem is. And I think I know what it is.
Ha-ha.
But what I've done in the meantime, I'll show you a couple of things that I have been knitting on, and then I'll explain what I think the issue is and how I'm going to solve it. Now this one is the 80 stitch sock that I spoke about before. And it looks lovely, doesn't it? It's the Opal Rainforest. Is it Rainforest? Yes, Rainforest 10, is that right? Let me just double check. Oh, I didn't know which number of Rainforest it is because it doesn't say on it, but it's one of the Rainforest ranges, and it's Lucy the Pianist, number 7471. It's the one with the cute little black and orangey bird on. And I thought by casting on 80 stitches that this would solve the problem. However, I've knit this much and I think it looks huge, and Dan thinks it also looks huge. I've been knitting this on 2.5 mils. It's difficult to tell scale, but this is one of my socks, and this is one of Dan's. You can see how, ginormous that looks. So I put this down. I did that much and put this down in exasperation. So then I thought I will cast on another one using 2.75 mils and 72 stitches, my normal stitch count for Dan. So I did that. But I think this one, I don't like the fabric, it's too loosey-goosey. So this is the one. I recast on the Kiwi yarn, the Opal Kiwi, using 2.75, and I've only done a tiny bit of the stocking stitch. You can barely even see it. But I can tell the gauge is very gappy. For a sock, it's just too loosey-goosey, like I said, for me. So that's that. And then I was just going through my sock basket this morning, and I thought, I'll take out this sock to work on. And I realised this one's on Magic Loop. And then I just had a revelation, and you know what I'm going to say? I've checked my gauge on all of these socks I've got here. I've discovered I knit tighter on DPNs. And I don't think this is uncommon. I heard somebody saying this recently. I don't know if it was Robin. I was watching Robin yesterday. It might have been Robin who said she knits tighter on DPNs. And that just put the thought into my head. So what I've just done...
I love the stitch, Stitching Between Pages podcast.
Robin?
Yes.
Oh, she's lovely.
Yes.
Robin, I watched you was it yesterday? Yes, I watched yesterday morning. Or maybe
Yes.
it was Sunday. Lovely podcast. She's so lovely. I love Robin. I really, really, it's such a fab. If you don't watch Robin Stitching Between Pages, then really go watch her. It's just so lovely. What were you going to say?
And well, I was going to say as well, speaking of podcasts, has Knitting Den been podcasting?
She has.
Denise
Is back. Did you all
No.
know? You probably all know that Denise is back. Saying that, I don't think she's podcast for a couple of weeks now. Denise, if you're watching,
Sort it.
you'll be due one. But
Woman.
I think she's done 2 or 3 since she came back. It's at least 2. I'm not sure if it's 3. Denise is back. Oh,
Now,
so fabulous to see her back.
I think to celebrate Denise coming back,
Yes.
I think she needs to get her camera and her tripod,
Yes.
get herself outside. I want another episode filmed outside,
On your blanket.
start to finish.
She did walk us up the drive on the...
That was a while ago.
No, on one of the new ones.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She took us up the drive to show it and showed us like the conifers at the top of the drive. And...
Did she say this is what I like to call a conifer? Because I'm sure it was around about Christmas
Was
where
it?
she took us up the drive and she
Yeah.
showed us this is what I call a bush. It's great.
So yeah, lovely Denise is back. Oh, we loved it. So yes, going back to the socks. So what I did, this is my Dancing Dog Dye Work sock. If you remember, she sent me this for my birthday. There it is. It's Happy Birthday Cheeky 3-stripe in her Twist Sock Plus, which is lovely. It's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon, but it's a high twist, which is lovely. And it's Happy Birthday Cheeky. And it's these really pretty stripes of like a bright violet and neon pink, and then these sprinkles. And I just thought, oh yes.
I love sprinkles on socks, by the way. Like
That's lovely, isn't
those sprinkles I love. I don't like sprinkles
Oh,
in food.
You mean hundreds and thousands?
Hundreds and thousands. I've not had those. I'd like to try those.
Hundreds and thousands.
Yeah, I don't like them because they put them, don't they? They have like cream, and then is it on top of like trifles?
Oh,
Yes.
lovely.
Now, I love a
I
trifle.
quite like them.
I love a trifle, but for me, if I was going to have a trifle, I'd much rather have sliced almonds.
Oh, right.
Yeah, do you not like that?
I do like that, yeah, but Bryony wouldn't. She likes hundreds and
I
thousands.
was talking about Bridie.
Oh, right, sorry.
She
So
wouldn't eat trifle.
she wouldn't eat trifle, no, but she puts hundreds and thousands on ice cream.
That's fine. But when you make me a trifle, you can...
I never make you trifles. When will I ever make you a trifle? Because then I'd have to eat some, and that means that I'd be consuming large amounts of things I shouldn't be eating.
Now, when I was young at Christmas at school, trifle, 20p piece, wrapped in silver foil,
Well, you could swallow it.
and you go looking for it. Of course, now,
No.
and you do look back now as a parent. You sort of look back now and you think, is that a bit bonkers? But then another part of me thinks, no one ever in all the time I was at school choked
No.
on a 20p piece.
But because it's something that's not really done these days,
Yeah.
likely is, children would swallow it.
Also, metal in food.
Yeah, it's
That's
not very
not
good, is it? No.
It's funny how the world's changed.
So this is my lovely sock with Michelle's yarn, and I thought, oh yes, I fancy a little knit on that, I'll get it out. And then I was like, hang on a minute, I'm knitting this on Magic Loop. I'm knitting it on 2.25s Magic Loop, and it just looks fine to me, the size of it. So I thought, right, I'm going to measure the gauges. I got my tape measure out. This one on are you ready? Are you getting this? This is mathematical. 2.25mm Magic Loop, 9 stitches to the inch. 2.5 DPNs, 9 stitches to the inch. Are you getting this? This one, which was my forfeit sock, which I thought this looks minute, this one is 2.25 DPNs, 10 stitches to the inch. We've got 9 stitches to the inch. on magic loop on 2.25, 10 stitches to the inch on DPNs 2.25. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I do, because you just said it.
I think if I just, and also I said to Dan, historically I've pretty much always knit his socks on magic loop.
She did say that.
So I think this is what my problem is. I just think I knit tighter on DPNs. So what I'm going to do is knit Dan's socks on magic loop.
Ta-da!
As I always used to knit them.
Get on with it then. I want some more socks.
2.5 mils.
You've started
magic
some lovely
loop.
socks for me recently, and then they've all been ripped out. Please start them again. I loved them.
Which
all.
ones?
I can't remember, but they were nice.
Well, I started that one.
Yeah, that was nice.
And I've obviously done that. Well, maybe I'll just restart this one. What?
That's a back to view sock.
I know. I can restart it.
Okay.
You big nana. I'm going to rip this one out. I'm going to restart it. And I won't need to I will probably do a contrast heel with the orange, but I won't need to do a contrast cuff.
I like it.
Well, I know you like it. I'm just saying I don't need to. I might do it.
Please.
So, oh, shush.
I really like the contrast cuff.
Right, I will do the contrast cuff.
Woo!
That's what I'm going to do. This one's going to get ripped out. I'm going to get a magic loop, 2.5 mils. I think I'm going to be good.
Yes. Have you finished?
I think so.
Wonderful. What else is on my needles?
It's been a bit traumatic, all that, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, if we're talking trauma, I'll give you trauma.
Oh no. I haven't done
nearly
it,
dropped it in my
darling.
coffee.
I haven't done it for you.
I realise that. I'm not going to knit.
You did ask me to do it and
It's
I
fine.
haven't.
It's fine. This is the speargrass hat. And look. Speargrass hat. Susie Corley. Erica Luda yarn.
Made a little error.
The yarn is wonderful. The pattern is great. But, there's a big but. If you've not knit holy stuff before, what's it called?
What, like religious?
No. What's it called?
Lace.
If you've not knit lace before. Well, I don't quite know what to say. The final stitch on the lace round.
Yes.
Tell me if I say anything wrong at any point.
I will.
The final stitch on the lace round is a yarn over.
Yeah.
Right. So you do your yarn over on the final stitch before the marker. And then you crack on around and you're knitting. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So why?
It's so confusing.
Yeah,
No. Just stick with me. Stick with me,
I am
people.
sticking with you.
So round you go. You're now knitting. You're on a knit round, and you get around to here. Okay.
Mhm.
And the slips, the yarn over, has slipped because it's a yarn over. It slips to the other side of the marker, right? So you get to the marker, and if you can read your knitting when you're doing lace, you've not got a problem. But if you can't read your knitting, which I can't when I'm doing
You just
lace,
didn't realise.
I looked at it, I saw it, right? I saw it, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, and I'm telling you, I'm virtually certain that I did it right, and then I thought, I'm overthinking this. It can't have slipped to the other side of the marker. I'll knit it back and I'll do it the other way. Well, I was right the first time, wasn't I? So I carried round doing a lace row, and now the lace row is now one stitch out.
It's off.
It's one stitch off the whole way round. So I got all the way around with the lace row, but I couldn't see then that it was wrong. It was only when I started doing the knitting round, so I'm now halfway through a knit round.
Yeah.
So I'm a round and a half wrong. I wasn't very happy.
Well, give me that and I'll remember then to tinker
Okay.
back for you. You were
Look,
gonna.
look. This, I'll tell you the reason why
I shall start tinking.
Cool. Well, I won't tell you the reason. I'll show you the reason why I'm not going to rip this out, because I wasn't I?
It was, yeah. It was like.
I wasn't happy. I wasn't a happy
I
bunny.
said, right, leave it a day and see how you feel.
The reason why I am finishing this hat off is that yarn is wonderful and it looks perfect in the pattern.
It does.
And Kay said, what actually really drove me to finish it was Kay says, I'll finish it for you. And I just thought, no chance.
I did. I'm that sort of generous.
Which is lovely. When it wasn't no chance in a negative way. It was I get why she's saying we're going to finish the hat, because it's a good pattern. And if you were a slightly more experienced lace knitter, I mean, it's an interesting question, that, isn't it? Because I'm a relatively experienced. Well, something like that happens, and I just feel mentally like I'm back to square one again. You just think, I don't know what I'm. But then I can pick up double knitting and do it no problem.
Yeah.
So it's skills, isn't it? And that's the whole reason why I've been saying, and I need to do it. The next thing I cast on is going to be a Declan's hat,
right?
And it can be a present or whatever.
Just to.
I have to do more cables.
Yeah.
The question, Kate, is at what level of knitting skill would you have been able to identify the problem that I encountered?
Well,
and the fact it slipped.
It would have been tricky, I think. And I mean, I looked at it and I could see that the lace eyelets were off. So I could have worked it out, but I was impressed that you'd worked out what you'd done.
What frustrates me though is
just got to remember that when you're doing your knit round, the last stitch before your marker is a yarn over.
Yeah.
So that's all you've got to remember.
Yeah, the thing is though.
Is that too tricky?
No, it's not tricky, but to me, right. If the yarn over is before the stitch marker, why would I possibly think that it's going to move to the other side?
Well, you wouldn't think that.
Do you get why I've got so?
It can, that it can do that.
I suppose. Well, it does do that.
Well, yeah, it's.
I suppose at the end of the day, there are no certainties in life, so why should there be in knitting?
No.
And whilst you might be expecting something to be where it should be, if it isn't there, don't plough on regardless. No. Life lessons with the bakery bears.
I'll have to take this back later. I need to concentrate.
Yeah, well, exactly, because I was thinking this is tricky because you're tinking back over pattern.
It is tinking back lace is a bit of a pain.
Are you ready with something else?
Yeah.
Good. Kay Jones, what else is on your needles?
I think I spoke about more than one thing there, didn't I, with the whole sock thing?
You did. You spoke about two things.
Yes, that's fine then. So the other thing.
It's not a competition.
No, I know, but I've finished two really big things, so
it's not a competition.
That took a lot of my knitting time.
Stop trying to justify things.
I know, the past couple of weeks. So I've not got, because
this is a hobby.
I know.
We do this.
But you know
to
what
relax
I'm like. I just feel
Do
bad when I don't have a lot of like works in progress, and it's because I've finished two big things.
What is the point in treating knitting like a commodity? It is.
No, I know, but I just put pressure on myself.
An art form that should be savoured every stitch.
Right.
Listen to me.
I don't very often. Right.
This is good. I mean, I don't get excited.
Exciting. I don't know about good.
I don't get excited about things like this.
I would never call anything I do good, but
blankets aren't my thing. This is.
It's cute, isn't it? I finished one big thing, which I will show you shortly. I suppose I should have had a break from knitting blankets, but then, literally the day I finished.
Well, not if you.
Well, I know the other one. I wanted to start a new one, and because I'd got. Can you remember last time? And I mentioned that I wanted to do a Disney themed blanket, like my Stitching Time one. Well, that thought stayed in my head and I couldn't get it out of my head, and I spoke to Bryony about it and she was like so excited, and she started writing down all of these films that she wanted me to interpret into knitting, which I suppose is what you're doing, isn't it?
Okay.
I'm doing a Force Awakens one.
Oh, yes.
Because it's Disney, isn't it?
Yes. And what blocks? Have you decided what blocks?
Well, there'd have to be a BB-8.
Yeah, Poe Dameron, please.
Poe Dameron, I don't know what colours
Orange,
he is. Right.
Brown, black, cream.
Right. Okay, well that's easy enough. And then, R2-D2's in it, C-3P's O's in it, Finn,
Ray.
I don't know what colour Finn is,
Ray.
I'll have to see what colours they are, because if they're similar then...
Well, I don't know, I think there's enough difference.
I mean, Kylo Ren's just black, isn't he? So
yeah, I wouldn't do that.
That's not very interesting.
No.
Square.
No, keep it light side of the Force.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, so...
Epic.
So I've started a block, my first block, and Bryony decided she wanted the first block to be Toy Story.
Yes.
So we sat for ages. I got all of my minis out. I've got this huge basket of minis plus another box of minis. And we just piled them all onto the floor on, I think it was Saturday afternoon, and it was like World War III. You've never seen anything like it. It was just like an explosion of minis. And it was really fun. We both really enjoyed going through and picking out the right colours, you know, to match the characters. And it was just a really nice thing to do. And you know, I just really, really enjoyed it. So straight away, you know, I knit a Woody square, and then I went on and did a few more.
There's a good lesson there, I think, as well, because I think if you structure your projects in the right way, there's no reason why you couldn't pull in anyone in your life into a project.
Well, no.
Because
no.
Bryony's tried knitting, but she's not a knitter.
She's not yet.
No.
I mean, she might be, but
you've picked a subject which, you know, it's close to her heart, and got to sit down and got to pick in colours, and you could do that if you had someone in your life like me. Except I'm different in the fact that I do knit. But if I was like a typical bloke, and you said I'm going to do a Force Awakens blanket, get them.
Well, you could do it.
Colours.
You could do it for your whole family, couldn't you? And you could have a family blanket. You could have a block for each member of your family, because usually people, like Dan says, people have a colour preference, don't they? You know, if you were doing a block for me, most likely it'd just be all pinks and purples. So I think that's a lovely idea.
So do I.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But this is my Toy Story block, and this is where I'm up to so far. Look!
I mean,
I was trying to get all the ends over to the other side so you could see properly enough.
I don't know which I'm more impressed with, Wiggy or Buzz.
Yeah, Bryony, when she was little, she's got a Buzz and a Woody. She always used to call them Wiggy Buzz, didn't she? They were like a twosome. She couldn't say Woody, so she said Wiggy. So it's a Wiggy Buzz. So I did Woody first here. So we've got the brown of his hat and his boots, and then his shirt is it's like a yellow, golden yellow and a red. We've got black and white for his little, what's it called?
Gun belt?
No, not a gun belt. He wears it over the top. Waistcoat thing.
Waistcoat.
His little waistcoat thing. And then denim for his jeans. And then this is Buzz, which is obviously, you know, it's green, white, purple. There's some silver in there as well. Can you see the silver? And then I added in this tiny bit of red because he's got those 2 red buttons on the front of him. This is probably a bit anal, isn't it, that I've gone to this degree. The pink one is just 2 shades of pink, and that's Ham. Do you know, the pig? And then this one I did last night is Bo Peep. So we've got her blonde hair, blue for the top of her dress, and then a bottom of the dress is pink and white.
Who else are you doing? Dinosaur.
I'm doing Rex, which I've got all the yarns here. Rex is just a 2-tone green, so he's easy. I can do him with just one colour. I found that one, which I thought was perfect for Rex. So that'll be Rex. And then I'm doing the aliens, which are... It's that sort of colour, isn't it? That's like a neon green. And then I think there's another colour involved. I don't know if it was a bit of purple. Yeah, I've got blue. I don't know if there was a bit of purple involved. I can't remember now.
They've got big eyes too, haven't they?
Yeah. And then I'm doing Bullseye and Slinky. And I've got various browns for them. I can't remember. I think Slinky's collar is green. I might have a green somewhere, but I've got various sort of shades of browns for Bullseye, Slinky Dog. Oh, Slinky Dog's got a bit of silver, so there's grey as well. And I think he's got a green collar, so I think that's why I pulled out that one that's browns and greens. And then I can't remember how many that is.
How many do you need?
9.
Did
I write it down?
There's always Wheezy.
No. Oh no, we didn't do Wheezy. But I mean, Bryony chose the characters. I can't remember which other one we chose. But, you know, as I do them, I will show you. So that's where I'm up to. And I'm doing this one. I'm knitting it slightly bigger than my other one. These are 45 stitches. My other one was 41. And I'm using a 2.75 instead of a 2.5, and I'm using these beautiful things. Look, can you see? They are little 7-inch straight signature needles. They're beautiful. They were very kindly sent to me by a lovely friend this last week, and so I've been using those.
It was a birthday present, wasn't it?
No, it was just a gift because she's lovely. So I've been using these and they're really nice. These are the midi points. I could have had the stilettos, but I quite fancied trying the middies. I have used the stilettos before and I really liked them, but I just thought, oh, you know, I quite fancy the middies, and I really like them. They're still very pointy, but they're just not as longly tapered as the stilettos. And it's the one with the kind of, is it a teardrop end? I think it's called a teardrop. So they're making it super special and, you know, really lovely to work on, because I think about my friend when I use them. It's really addictive. And, you know, I've had a lot of comments on when I posted a picture on Instagram. I'd done a couple of squares. A lot of people were saying, oh, I hope you like weaving ends in, and oh, look at all those ends.
They clearly don't know you.
It doesn't, and I did say a few times, it doesn't bother me, you know, and if it did bother me, I wouldn't be knitting this, really, would I? And I've woven the ends on the back of the woody one, if you can see. It's a little bit untidy because there are a lot of ends, but that's the back of the blanket and nobody's going to be looking at that at the end of the day. And the front is, you know, I mean, I know this looks kind of messy here, but if you look at the front of the woody one, it's perfectly neat now. So the ends don't stress people. It really doesn't bother me. I'm quite happy, you know, to weave in the ends to get this effect, you know, which I think is lovely.
The ends justify the
means. Very good. So I'm really loving this, and this is another reason why I haven't made progress on some other things, because I just kept going, oh, I'll just do buzz. Oh, I'll just do ham. Oh no, I want to do Bo Peep. You know, and an hour went by and I'd not done anything apart from knit squares.
You couldn't have got more perfect colours.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
It took some time.
But worth it.
But worth it. And I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do about the borders. I don't think I want cream again.
Ooh. What about a double knit edge?
Oh, shush.
Which says something all the way around.
No. I just don't think I want cream. You know, I've done quite a few blankets with cream borders. I'm quite fancying either pale pink or pale lilac. I did look for some Cascade Heritage, and they did have a really pretty pink. It was strawberry something or other, I think, but nobody had it in stock. It was just a really pale pink. So what I might end up doing actually is just dyeing up some yarn myself. Just dye up maybe a pale pink or a pale lilac, because I think that will look really nice and make it even more girly, you know. So yes, that's my Disney blanket, Stitching Time blanket number 2, I suppose it is, yeah.
Summer of socks. More socks. I just need to Kitchener this.
You do?
Interesting, actually, because I was just saying to Kay that another thing that doesn't go into my head is the whole Kitchener thing. But, you know, like I said, the tutorial is there and that always keeps me right. But you said just think you always purl first.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, yeah, you put your needle, to start off with, don't you? You have to go through the front stitch as if to purl and the back stitch as if to knit, and that sets you up. And that's how I just remember. I know that if I start on a purl, it goes purl, knit, knit, purl, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Front, back, like that.
I must say, though, I really do enjoy doing a Kitchener stitch.
I don't mind it.
I don't have a problem with it at all. So, you know, sitting down, looking at the tutorial and getting on with it, I really do enjoy doing that. So it's not, you know, it's not a frustration at all. The yarn's Opal. It's the first sock I've not pushed on anywhere near as much as I should, but I really feel like this Summer of Socks thing has been really good for me, because this sock was way better than the last sock. It's I've only made one mistake that I can see on here. The repetition really helps.
Oh yeah.
You know, nailing it and then getting on with it and doing it again and again and again until, you know, you've really got it down. And I feel like now, after getting through this one, after having a few, you know, little problems, as I have done historically with my previous socks, I really feel, you know, really good about cracking into the next one. And the other great thing about knitting in this weight of yarn, with the number of stitches that I do, is it doesn't really take very long.
No.
You know, when you just the things that slow me down are the tricky bits, because I still have to look at the tutorials and I still have to think about them, and that's fine, because that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good to have something.
I still have to look at instructions for things like heel turns. I still have. It's not. I just don't think it's necessarily something you need to remember, really, if you've got it
No.
written down.
I certainly wouldn't ever try to remember. I think that I certainly feel closer to being able to pick up gusset stitches than I ever have done.
Right.
I think I'm really close
Yeah.
to knowing, I know what I'm doing now with that. It is the type of process, I think, which you're always learning something more and more and more, because there is, so much going on. But, again, it's all good stuff. Because you can feel yourself becoming a more accomplished knitter as as you tackle it. I hope you're ready with something else.
That's all my...
Is it?
Yes.
I've got another one.
Because I showed...
This isn't a competition.
I showed about 3 socks all at once, didn't I?
This is not a competition, but I win.
Well, I'm pleased. I did say that I'm a failure, really. Well,
Oh, stop it. You absolute prune.
I have been knitting on a lot of things, but a lot of them were for tutorials and things like that, so...
Check
It
this
is what
monster
it is.
out. Look at the size of this. Oh
Wow,
my goodness.
It's huge now.
Now, you can see, can't you? I hope.
It's
I really
off the
hope.
screen. Hold it up a bit. There you go.
You can see, because I've really been going for it on this over the last 4 weeks. And it must have been down here. So, and you can see up here, I'm not actually up to a decrease yet. I'm up to the first, I am at the decreases, because the stage I'm on, when I get to the top of this stage, it has the first decreases on it.
Have you still got a bit more to knit though?
Yes.
Oh, right. How much?
Half of a diamond.
Oh, really? Right, okay.
Well, it's a full diamond, really, because this next diamond is smaller, because this is where it starts to vanish.
Oh, right, okay.
And it starts to go up and
So you're not on the decreases yet? I thought you were.
Well, I am on the stage with the decreases in it.
Right.
So the stage...
But you're not at the point where
I'm not physically at the point where I'm physically having to do the decrease stitch.
That's what I thought you were.
No, I'm getting to that point, and I will be there.
How long is it now?
Imminently. I have made a couple of little errors. Do you know what? They look fine.
7 inches.
Why are you telling me this?
I don't know. What should it be?
I have no idea.
Oh. Well done.
What?
Well, I don't know.
Well, the pattern is what the pattern is.
I suppose.
I mean,
but it looks cute, cuffed up. Look. Oh, it's very cute, isn't it?
We established something.
Yeah.
It's going to be warm.
Look how cute it's going to look on my head.
Didn't we?
Yeah, I put it on the other night just to make sure that it would fit. I said, bye, that's going to be a warm hat. It's definitely going to be,
Do you know what that says to me, though?
Deep in the winter, snowy
But that's good.
hat.
That means this is...
Oh, I think it'll look nice.
Like Denise's wonderful episode, this hat is my legacy.
Yes.
And I think it will be. And I think it will last, because it won't be something you can just sling on any time. No. Double knitting is really cool. It is what I have to do on a night.
What are you going to do when you finished it?
But I'll have to do something else.
What, another double knitting?
Yes.
Nathan.
At the moment.
What have you done to him?
Well, I'm not like a Sith Lord like Nathan is.
No.
Because they've got all this technique business going down with their fingers holding yarn in different places and all this stuff. I just go for it.
That's an amazing accomplishment. There's no way I'm sorry, Nathan, but I couldn't have stuck to that.
I'd go for it.
Driven me a bit doolally.
I go for it on the knitting. I just have my yarn here, and then I do what I need to do, and then it twists, and then I have to untwist
it every now and
But
again.
it's fine,
See, that would drive me batty, but it doesn't seem to bother you, does it?
No, it's fine. It's fine. And what I like about it is, as I've said before, it fully engages your brain, which means that you completely relax, and that's all really cool. I reckon. I don't think, to be honest, I would do a scarf. Because I'm knitting the...
Don't be crazy.
If I like scarves, right?
Why couldn't you do another hat? Has Nathan got another pattern that's a hat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So what I will do is I will ask Nathan, and I will get a good piece of advice on where to go next with this. Because he's steered me brilliantly so far, starting with the coasters and then onto the hat, and then it is a question of where you go next. And I do sort of look forward to whatever that next thing is.
Right.
I'm not sick of this by any stretch. you know how sometimes a pattern can become a little bit tedious.
And you just want to get it finished.
That's certainly not the case.
Right.
There's part of me which is like, well, when I finished it, that's going to mean I'm going to have to find something else. And then the one thing that is tricky is getting into it.
Right.
You know, when you first start off.
Right.
I mean, the cast on, I've not done the cast on in ages, and the cast on is nuts. But I hope that I'll just remember it. We'll see. So that is what else is on my needles.
Wow.
Finally, it's time. Yes.
Yes.
Would you like to go, first of all, actually, would you like to go to the bridge on the way to platform 9 3/4 in King's Cross? Yes. I've not even filmed this yet, but I just happen to be in the right place.
And it's
to
not
get
actually
that
in
film.
King's Cross.
They're going to find out all of this in just a moment. So now we're going to go to King's Cross. We're going to go on the bridge. We're then going to get on the train, and we're going to go to Hogsmeade.
We are.
Cool. Should we do it?
Yes.
Let's go. And so we properly begin our hunt for Harry Potter with a rail journey from Gromont to Goathland, which is of course Hogsmeade. The train was everything we hoped it would be. When we booked it, you are told it's going to be a steam train, as you can see there, and as you saw it coming onto the platform. You're told it's going to be a steam train, but they don't guarantee it. Now, it's interesting we're on a train, because let's just talk for a moment about the birth of Harry Potter. As you can see, we're now rushing to get on. I don't know why, I don't know if you're the same, but whenever a train pulls up at a station, even if you know it's going to be a little while, you still just think, I need to get on it just in case it goes before I get a chance. And look inside here. It's so lovely, and the seats were so comfortable. Proper sprung seats. Here we go. This is, what's it called? Is it the Harry Potter Express? Right.
Hogwarts Express.
Oh, I'm sorry. So this is the Hogwarts Express. We're on our way to Gromont Station. Now this is, I mean, if rail travel was still like this,
It's lovely, it's all wooded.
it's perfect. And so as we leave the station, let's cast our minds back to 1990. That's when J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter author, found herself on a trip from Manchester to London, and she was delayed by 4 hours. And in those 4 hours, she stated in interviews that the idea of a young boy attending a school of wizardry came fully formed into her mind. Over the next 5 years, the manuscript for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was perfected on the author's old manual typewriter. Her book, once it was finished, was submitted to 12 publishing houses, and all rejected it. It wasn't until 8-year-old Alice Newton read the first chapter and demanded more that Bloomsbury, a publishing house in London, decided to publish the book. Alice's dad was Bloomsbury's chairman. When the manuscript came across his desk, he thought who better to ask but the book's target audience, 8-year-old children. Thank goodness Alice read that book. And look at that view. That is Gromont as we leave the station, and what we're going to see in a moment is the flowers that we saw when we were walking in. There we go. Do you see them? When we came past the church, those flowers were there on the opposite side of the tracks, and we're now going into a rather scary little tunnel. Bryony was not very happy in here at all, as you can probably hear actually, but look at those lights. I love that. There's something romantic and just rather lovely about travelling on a steam train. Bloomsbury published The Philosopher's Stone in June 1997 with an initial run of 1,000 copies. They needed a few more very quickly, but if you do have one of these initial copies, they're valued between £16,000 and £25,000. A year later, and Scholastic bought the rights for US publishing. They changed the name to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, something that J.K. Rowling now regrets agreeing to. In that same year, Warner Brothers bought the rights to the first 4 Harry Potter movies. It was actually David Heyman of Heyday Films that suggested Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. He pitched the idea to Warner Brothers and they absolutely loved it, and they signed the deal. It's a £1 million, £1,982,900 deal with J.K. Rowling for the first 4 books. Now, Rowling made one demand, and that was that the principal cast be kept British. She also very cleverly didn't sell the rights of the characters, only the rights of the stories. That stopped Warner Brothers ever making films that she hadn't written with the same characters. So the first Harry Potter film went into production, and I don't know if you know, and I was really surprised to hear that the first director who negotiated to direct the film was Steven Spielberg. And there is a completely incorrect rumour that J.K. Rowling vetoed the idea, and she said in a number of interviews that you need your head examining if you think that she would veto Steven Spielberg directing her film. It was actually Steven Spielberg who turned the film down. He just didn't think it was a challenge. He said it was a slam dunk, and basically making the film was a license to print money. He wanted more of a challenge, and he went off to direct, I think it was AI, artificial intelligence. So I'm not sure if that was a particularly good decision. And now it's interesting because his idea for Harry Potter was that it would be an animated film, and he wanted Haley Joel Osment, who actually went on, didn't he, to be in AI. He wanted Haley Joel Osment to provide Harry Potter's voice. Now that just didn't wash with Warner Brothers, and I doubt J.K. Rowling thought that that was a particularly good idea either. And so they went into talks with many other directors, eventually settling on the brilliant, and they are my favourite Harry Potter films, the ones that Chris Columbus directed. I think he did 1 and 2 and maybe even 3 as well. But folks, I need to shut up because this is it. We are arriving at Hogsmeade Station. The excitement is unbelievable. You can see in the speed that the girls get up, and look at Bryony. She's like, get me off the train. I want to stand on the platform. It was, I was sad to get off the train. It would have been nice to actually carry on down the line, but it's so strange. It's the first time I think I've ever been on a location or in a location of such a huge movie, and just setting foot on the platform here, and such a beautiful day as well. Just look at that. That's such an iconic view. If you watch that first movie when Harry's leaving, that is one of the views which you get. And just remember as well the one where Hagrid is stood at the side of the train. I'm going to try and reenact that one myself in just a moment. But also look at what's round and about. I mean, the countryside is utterly stunning, and that's something that isn't really picked up on in the movie. Those are foxgloves, aren't they? They were just beautiful, and such a warm day as well. But that view is one to really savour, and it's sort of unbelievable when you find yourself stood somewhere that you've watched on screen so often, and how insane that we live, 33 miles from there. Now, it's a long 33 miles because the roads into the North York Moors are small and single carriageway and extremely windy, so it did take us a little while to get there, but it really was worth the trip. It is the most picturesque spot, and if ever you have the opportunity to catch a steam train on the North York Moors Heritage Line, which of course we've already told you that this is, I'd highly advise that you do it. Do you know what, actually, it wasn't as busy as I expected, especially when we realised how good the weather was going to be. We thought that it would be absolutely packed, and this was the only steam train that ran that particular day. I mean, there's a few people there obviously, but you just expect it to be utterly packed, and I'm so glad that it wasn't, because it made it just wonderful to explore the station, which we're going to do right now.
Welcome to Hogsmeade Station.
We totally made it. It is built in 1865 and it's virtually unchanged from when it was built, and it was actually built because they had to build a second line because they started using steam trains, and so they built this beautiful station here at Goathland, and you can totally see why this was chosen for locations for Harry Potter. And so 10 years after she'd conceived the idea, stuck on a train between Manchester and London, here she was, J.K. Rowling, stood one October day in the year 2000, getting ready to shoot the very first images that would become the very first Harry Potter movie. And so we just thought that we could not start our hunt for Harry Potter anywhere else than here. And I stood up there with Bryony, because Kay really doesn't like heights, and I had to really persuade her. That's the bridge that is right behind Hagrid as he walks away at the end of the film. Look at that! There's the guard waving to say the train's about to leave the station. It's so cool. I cannot recommend to you more going on a steam train. It's just the best fun. But yeah, we stood on top of that bridge, Bryony and I, and you could just see on Bryony's face, she was so unbelievably excited, because that's like the Hogwarts Express now on its way back down to London. What an adventure. You're a wizard, Bryony. Can you believe we're here? It's cool, isn't it? Yeah. You didn't know I was a relative of Hagrid's, did you?
Yes, I did, because I knit you socks.
All right. Very funny, Mrs. Dursley. That's my feeble attempt, folks, at reliving the scene at the end of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone as he says goodbye to Harry and walks away from the train. And so we are stood within the world of Harry Potter. The station makes its first appearance in the movies in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and it will go on to appear in the Order of the Phoenix and the Half-Blood Prince. Of course, in the world of Harry Potter, it's located near the Black Lake. And of course, if this was your first day at Hogwarts, I would be meeting you, as of course I am a relative of Hagrid's, as Kay has now informed me. I'd be meeting you and I'd be taking you to the end of the platform. We'd be getting in the boat and we'd be going across the lake, and we'd be starting our term at the School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And in the film, Hogwarts is just over there on the left-hand side. That's the iconic pan that happens right at the end of the movie. As Hagrid's walking down the platform, it pans upwards, and just over there on the left-hand side is where Hogwarts is.
And this is exactly the spot where Harry, Hermione and Ron's huge adventures began.
At Hogwarts, absolutely right. And the really cool thing is, Kay, this is also where the initial day's filming was done.
Is it?
In the year 2000, that's when they filmed the first Harry Potter, and the very first place that they came to film was right here at Goathland. So this is where the film careers of Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson and Rupert Grint began as well.
Wow, amazing.
Of course, somewhere as picturesque as Goathland has not just been used in Harry Potter. It was used in James Herriot, and Kay actually told me that it was the station, the main station in the James Herriot stories. It was the place that was used. It was also used in the movie Keeping Mum, which was, I think it came out in the mid-2000s. It had Patrick Swayze in it and Rowan Atkinson. But it was also used, and this is actually probably how it's best known locally, it was used in the TV series Heartbeat, which ran for 8 years in the UK. Not only is this Hogsmeade, but also this is Aidensfield. I think it was around 1992 that a new TV programme started on ITV, and it followed very much in the footsteps of James Herriot. It was actually based on some books written by a real-life policeman who actually wrote under a pseudonym. And it was all about Nick Rowan. He was a mounted bike policeman in the 1960s, and it ran for 8 years and nearly 400 episodes. And this is Aidensfield. We're surrounded just by the Aidensfield Arms over there, which was used in the filming, and also the Aidensfield shop. But of course, who am I kidding? To you and me and millions, possibly even billions of people, this is and always will be Hogsmeade. So let's just take a moment before we finish our journey today to enjoy the sights of this truly beautiful station. As we've said, built in 1865 and barely touched since the day it was built. And now, thanks to J.K. Rowling and the wonderful movie by Warner Brothers, this will always be the place where Harry Potter, the boy who lived, began his adventures at Hogwarts, the School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Wow! What a perfect spot to start our hunt for Harry Potter. We have found the place where he arrived to start his life at Hogwarts. That was so cool.
It was very cool. It's such a beautiful railway station, isn't there?
Yeah.
They both were actually. The two stations we went to were both really beautiful.
And actually, the one I preferred the most was the one that we showed you. Actually, well, they were in both segments there. Gromont Station, just because it was a little bit bigger, and there was a real. There was also, we went on the North York Moors Railway, but that's not really like a proper railway anymore.
It's a heritage track,
which is great.
Yeah.
You know, those for me are the best ones. Gromont though, you've got both.
Yeah.
So you've got a normal rail line coming in, and then you can then pick up and so you've got like everything in today's world. You've got the new trains, you've got the old trains, a nice big station, a lovely shop, nice loos.
The loos were amazing. I wish I'd taken you into the loos. That's fascinating. We have taken you to loos before, haven't we?
We normally take people to loos in castles.
Oh, right,
Yes.
okay. Well, this is a real loo, but it's in the old waiting room.
Well, it
the
is
ladies'
historical.
waiting room.
It is historical because these stations haven't
Yeah,
changed.
yeah,
and when
and-
these stations were built, you know, it wasn't, oh, let's build something picturesque and beautiful. That's how it worked.
And it was fantastic. You walked in and it was so cool as well. That was the other thing. It was very cool in there, as in temperature, not it was cool, which it was. But there was like an old fireplace there, and there was seating, wooden seating in the middle, and there was seating around the outside, and then some loos, you know, just at the back. It was just lovely, really nice.
Yeah, and the gents one as well was
that
really
the
great.
same?
Yes, I must just tell you a little story though about the gents toilet.
Right.
Because, as some of you may well have gathered, one of the side effects of my chemotherapy is a very weak bladder. And, you know, first of all, en route to going,
Well,
I had
we've
to
been
stop.
going 10 minutes, and he said he had to go to the loo.
It's not, do you know what, I was driving across and I was just thinking, it's getting to the point where, just on a morning, I shouldn't
Just a morning,
I just
isn't
shouldn't
it?
go out. But the other thing is, as I said to the consultant last time I saw the consultant, is I'm way better after I've been for a run.
Yeah.
If I go for a run, then it's like, I don't know if perspiring helps.
Maybe, and we were sort of bothered about this, weren't we, when we last saw the consultant? But she did.
I'm always bothered about it.
We're always bothered about it, but we spoke about it in depth to her, and she did do a prostate test, didn't she?
I've had
this
2 done.
time? Yeah, you've had 2 done, and
I had a CT, you know, it's probably 6 months ago now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I'm just coming up for another one.
yeah, but we've not heard back from the hospital, so we're presuming all must have been okay.
Well-
We would have heard by now if there was a problem. I know we're just totally paranoid about these things, but
Anyway, I'm
Anyway.
stood in the toilet, you know, in one of my many, many visits, and I heard the train. And I'm like, oh no. You know, it's like when you're on the platform and like the girls are
this
out on the
was really
platform.
early. This was like
Well, it was really early, but that doesn't mean you don't panic.
no.
And I'm panicking for 2 reasons. The first reason is, it's here early, am I going to miss it? The second reason is, I wanted to get the train pulling onto the platform. So how did I get the train pulling onto the platform? Because Kate's not as crazy or as bonkers as she looks. She picked up the camera, turned it on, and filmed it.
I did. I was in a bit of a panic because I couldn't remember Dan's code to get into his phone. And I said to Bryony, "What is
Genius.
it?" And Bryony's like, "Try this." And Bryony was right.
They got in and they filmed it, and perfect. Otherwise, we would have missed that footage. So, you know, that was
Because it was
amazing.
really long, the train, actually, wasn't it?
And then Kate, we're on the platform, and Kate says, "Oh no, that's not our train."
No, because
I'm like, no,
I
no,
said,
this
as the
can't be
train
right.
was pulling in, I said to Bryony, "Bryony, gosh, you know, I think it is a steam train because we weren't sure." This guard walks past me and says, no, love, that's not yours. Yours is that diesel one over there. And I'm like, oh, right, okay. So I didn't think that was our train. Well, what he meant was that they were going to change the steam train, the actual engine, to a diesel engine, but the carriages, it was our train.
So I went and asked the guard anyway in
And
the
he said, yeah, that's the
room.
right one, you better go and get
so
on.
we ended
We
up
were
on the right
like-
train, thankfully. Because if we'd not got on it, we'd have been
So
in trouble.
when he said train, he meant engine. He
Yes.
didn't actually mean, well,
No.
you know, I'm a layperson, I don't... Anyway.
So we have begun our hunt for Harry Potter in the perfect fashion, and now it's time to move on to the home of the Malfoys.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
it's going to be quite an epic filming odyssey, this one. And that's all to come, not next episode, but the episode after. We're going to be filming this over the next couple of weeks, and it should be just utterly amazing, because where their home is a stunning place, which we've never been into before.
No.
We've been to the old part, but we've not been. I mean, it's
We've
crazy.
seen it from the outside.
It's crazy that they call it the old part and the new part, because the new part was built in like 1600.
Yeah, I know. There's
So-
Hardwick Old Hall, and then there's a new one. And like Dan said, the new one is really not new.
And that is where we shall be going.
Yeah.
And it will be amazing. So that is here, not next episode, but the episode after. But now it's time for What's in Your Sweetie Jar?
Oh, that's yummy.
Now, last episode we found, to our great excitement, that Japanese people make rather good sweets.
They do.
So we thought, we'd only tried 2. We needed to just broaden the net just a little bit and see if they really are good. So we thought this time, a controversial decision. We're not just going to show you sweets. We're going to show you crisps too.
Crisps, or chips as you call them in the US.
Now, interesting thing here is we can't quite work out what flavour these are.
It's baked potato flavour, but then there's a chicken and then there's some steak there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
So,
both. Look,
yeah.
it's something and something. Maybe it's like
Meat and potatoes.
And potato.
And obviously we have no idea what is going on because the whole thing is in Japanese.
Yeah.
But, our expectations now are really high.
And I've been wanting to try these for weeks, and obviously you've not let me.
So, again, if you can help us with what this says on the packet, that
Yeah.
would be marvellous.
Thank
We
you.
would love to know. So we've got these, and then we have these things,
Yeah.
which are a little bit strange.
Have you tasted one?
No, of course I haven't.
Oh, right, okay. It looks like
Just
a
so
sort
you
of-
know, we do not pre-try anything that we
It's
have
soft.
in What's in Your Sweetie Jar.
It's soft and it looks a bit toffee coloured-ish.
That is a milk caramel.
Oh,
It says so on the packet.
milk caramel. And what's this one?
This is a coffee caramel.
Oh.
It has Japanese and English on the packets.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Right.
So, but of course,
What are we trying first?
now that is a question I would throw out to you.
Well, I think we should try these ones before the crisps.
Look, this is a bit like when you sit down to have 2 pieces of toast, and you would like peanut butter and you would like raspberry jam.
Right.
Now, I know there's plenty of people who would have both at the same time, but peanut butter, raspberry jam, which do you have first?
Jam. Why? What difference does it make?
Peanut butter is savoury.
Is it?
You don't start your dinner with your pudding and then have your main course. Similarly, main course, pudding.
Oh, right, okay, so we've got to start with the crisps.
Are you with me, people?
I don't know, that seems wrong to me.
I'd love to know. What do you think? What do you think? If you were going to have sweets and crisps, which would you have first?
Okay, we'll start with the crisps.
Here we go.
Oh, it's noisy.
We're going in.
Smell them, smell them.
Ooh!
What's it smell
Oh,
like?
I'm excited. I'm not going to put any in until you've got some. These look interesting.
Oh, it smells nice.
It really does. I mean, these look
It's
good.
like a waffly sort of texture.
I mean,
Can we try one? Oh, it smells so savoury.
oh, these smell familiar.
They
that
do
smells
smell
of bacon.
familiar. No, it's chicken. I think it's chicken.
Okay, yeah, roast chicken.
It's chicken, roast chicken.
Should we try?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, they're different. It's not like a crisp, is it?
I tell you, I'm moving to Japan. It's
It's
more like a
It's foamy, like.
it's a bit like a pom bear. Oh, these are good. I totally shouldn't be eating these.
Totally getting chicken.
Chicken.
But, I mean, there is a general meat smell.
Oh God, I'll tell you, I could eat the whole packet.
They are nice, aren't they?
Oh yeah. They're lovely. So Cherie, thank you again.
Yes, more from Cherie.
Yummy.
So we're going to give those 5 out of 5.
5.
So that's the first time we've tried crisps. They're not necessarily a particularly out there choice, so I don't suspect we'll be trying more in future, but we just thought it would be interesting.
I'd rather have a crisp than a sweet. I'm more of a crisp person.
We thought it would be interesting to try some Japanese crisps, and it certainly was. Definitely worth a go if you
Yummy.
see these. So you've got a milk caramel.
Yeah.
I have a coffee caramel.
Oh, yours is two-tone. Oh, it's like
That's really coffee flavoured. That's
oh,
really
it's
strong.
really nice. I'll tell you what, you Japanese people, they've got it sorted. Do you know the milk chews that you can get in this country? The texture's like that with like a sort of karamaki flavour. Oh, really nice.
It says Nippo on it. So what would we score these?
Yummy.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because as caramels go, these are very good. But personally, I would never score a caramel high.
See, I would. This is more my thing as opposed to a sweet.
Well, that's
I did
great.
love those sweets last time. I would go 4.5, really, 5. It's got to be. It's up there.
Right. I mean,
You're not going to score it that high.
well, no. You see,
Save me a coffee one. I'll have that later.
it would lose a mark just because it's not my favourite. So you know, well, I shouldn't do that. I should score it thinking, you
It's
know,
delicious.
on an even keel. So, what did you say?
4.5. I
Well,
want to go 5, but I'll say 4.5.
I would probably go top whack 3.5.
Oh,
so we
really?
split the difference, so that's a 4.
4 then.
What that tells you is we've now tried 4 different Japanese sweets,
And we love them
and
all.
every one of them is exceptional. And what's so interesting is we have arranged, and I'm not going to say too much, but we will be doing a further look at Japanese sweets
Will we?
later on in the year.
All right.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And I don't want to say too much because it's really exciting, but probably in 3 or 4 episodes' time,
Right.
yes, it's going to be really, really cool. We're going to have more Japanese sweets, we're going to have different Japanese sweets, and we might just have someone helping us try them too.
Right.
Say nothing, act casual. It's time to find out what's off your needles. Now, momentous day, because I beat you on the what's on your needles.
Yeah.
And I'm totally not going to beat you on the what's off your needles.
No.
You've absolutely blown me out the water because I have nothing and you have...
No. 2 big
And they're not
things.
even small things.
No.
They are
I'll start,
ginormous.
Well, I'll start with this one,
Yes.
which is what everybody's expecting.
Which you've been showing us actually in the last couple of podcasts.
Yes,
Yes.
but I did put a picture of this finished item up on the Patron
yummy.
Facebook group. You're stealing my water.
It's delicious. Thank you.
But I deliberately didn't put a picture of the finished item up on Instagram. I wanted to save it. So I'm a bit mean like that, aren't I? But it is my Stitching Time blanket. I finished my blanket. I finished seaming it, which, again, I know a lot of people don't like seaming. I don't mind at all. I find it quite therapeutic, especially mattress stitch. It's very... Because what you do with mattress stitch, don't you? You work a few stitches loose and then you pull like that and it goes zip, 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 zip. And it's really fun. I find that really fun to do. So yes, I finished my Stitching Time blanket, so I shall hold it up in all its glory and I might have to stand. Sorry.
How many squares are in this blanket?
There's 12.
Right.
Well, it's not all going to fit in, so I'll go up. So this is where it starts at the top. I'll move it up. There you go, to the bottom. Ta-da!
How many squares are there per block?
9.
Why is that?
Because it's got to be square.
Yeah.
So it's got to either be 3x3, 4x4, or 5x5.
But do you not see the... Hold it up so people can see.
Sorry.
Do you not see the coolness of the fact that there's 9?
No.
A stitch in time.
Saves 9.
Amazing.
Yeah, I never realised that. That's quite cool, isn't
I
it?
wonder
I wish
what
I had realised that.
Yes, because then
So-
you could have said that it was planned.
I'll show you one of my favourite blocks, and this is the one. I think I might have started working on this last time, but can you see? I'll hold it close so you can see. Oh, it doesn't need to be that close. Can you see this one here? This is the August block, and I decided to do all seaside colours, and it's really pretty. I think I can sit back down again now, actually. It's just really pretty coastal colours. So I love that one, and then I did the September one, which you won't have seen at all, I don't think, which is this one, and it's just all lovely autumnal colours. So yes, it's finished, and I meant to weigh it, and I haven't weighed it. I know that Zena said that each one of her finished bordered blocks was about 50 grams, so I'm presuming mine will be
Why are you weighing
roughly.
it?
I don't know, people might be interested.
Okay.
So that being the case, what's 12 times 50? 600, no. Is that right?
Well, it
No,
will do.
that doesn't sound right. 600 grams. Does that sound right?
12
12 times
30,
5
40,
is
50,
60.
200.
600.
Of course
So
it is.
that might be about right then. 600
Let
grams
me
might be about
doubting
right.
basic maths then.
I know. I was very much doubting myself. So it's it's a lap blanket size, this one, or a really good baby blanket size. Quite it to be a little bit big, I think, for a baby blanket, but it's perfect lap size. It goes all the way down to the floor and covers me, all the way over, which is what all I wanted, to be honest, because I mainly use this kind of blanket in the winter, sat on the sofa, knitting, that kind of thing, and you just kind of want that bit covered. Or, you know, in this case, Bryony will probably use it. So yeah, and I'll show you the back. I know some people might be interested in the back, in the seams. It's very neat, I think. I don't think it's ugly in any way. All finished.
Lovely.
And it took me 7 months, is that right? I started it in November, and it's now July.
That's all right.
7, 8 months, 8 months maybe, which I don't think is bad, is it?
No.
And I used about 1.5 balls of the opal for the borders, so about 150 grams for the borders that I used. So I know my next one, because they're bigger, the blocks, will use more, but I'm hoping to get away with 200 grams for the borders, but we'll just have to see. So all finished.
That is your stitching time blanket.
Yay!
Cool. So yeah, if you want to knit one, there's some basic notes on Kay's Ravelry page,
how lovely it
and there's
looks.
in-depth tutorials available for podcast patrons.
Isn't it lovely? Oh, I love it. I was really, really pleased with how it came out. Hence, starting another one. So that's...
What else is off your needles? Well,
gosh, now this is quite momentous, isn't it?
It is momentous.
I've been working on a few designs, and I think I said previously that I was hoping to put like a little group together. And I have got 2 other shawl designs that are on the needles right now. It just became a bit too much for me to have. At the time I had 3 shawl patterns on the go, plus all the other stuff, you know, that I was doing. So I decided just to focus on one of them and just get them out one at a time. So this one, once I started working on it, it kind of fitted in with the whole Harry Potter theme just perfectly. It just all kind of fell into place. So this particular shawl, shall I show it first and then talk about it?
Why don't you show it whilst talking about it?
All right, okay. It's an asymmetrical shawl, so it's knit from one corner to the other. I've never designed an asymmetrical shawl before, which is exciting. It came out really big, which I love. It's huge. So it starts over here. I'll show you.
Wow.
Starts over here. I'm just going to show it in seconds. It's okay. Works our way along. Keep going. And along, and then the border. There's the border. So you can see it's really big. And I'll kind of, it's really hot today, but I'll put it on. And the inspiration behind this came from a scene in the first Harry Potter film. And I've actually calling it, or have called it, the Ollivander shawl. So this is the Ollivander shawl. And if you can see, I mean, it's lovely and, you know, oh, it's so nice around your neck. And the yarn that I used was one of my main inspirations. The variegated yarn here is lovely Deb's yarn, and I've got another skein so I can show you.
Tell us why it's called the Ollivander shawl, woman.
Because the 2 colours in the shawl remind me of a phoenix, and we all know that Harry's wand has a phoenix feather inside it. And then also the border that I chose to do, where's the border? Looks like, when you look at it closer, it looks like little ladders. And obviously he climbs up and down the ladder looking for, Mr. Ollivander climbs up and down the ladder when he's looking for Harry's wand. So that was my 2 kind of inspirational things. So the variegated yarn is from lovely Deb at Fondant Fibre, and it's her Austin base, which is a superwash merino, cashmere and nylon, 350 metres. So it's lovely and plump and squishy. It's gorgeous. And that's what it looks like in the skein. She actually sent me 2 because she's lovely. And we weren't sure if it would be 1 or 2. I used just 1 skein, and I'll show you, I literally had that much left. It's about 2 grams. So I was thrilled that I didn't have to go into the second skein, because I knew that a lot of people had purchased this yarn, and I didn't want, you know, it to need more than 1 skein. So
it's supposed to look like the phoenix rising from her flames, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, well, the colours just reminded me of that. The pinks and the golds, and there's some red in there as well.
Cool.
The other yarn that I used is Anzula Luster in the saffron colour, and I had I think that's about 10-15 grams left, so I had plenty of that one, and that was a similar yardage. So that's my shawl, the Ollivander shawl.
And when's it available?
Well, It's in testing now. I've been very clever this time, and I thought I'd try and get the test knitters in place before I showed you, so that it was all in process. And it is, the test knitters have got the pattern. So I'm hoping it'll be sort of 2-3 weeks. We're away for a week, so that kind of...
Filming at Malfoy Towers.
So that kind of cuts out that week. So I'm hoping sort of mid-August is when the pattern will be available. So I know a lot of people have got one of these skeins of Deb's yarn, and even you've got the coordinating as well. The other thing I didn't tell you.
Oh, yes.
The other thing that that was my inspiration is the striping sequence is based on a mathematical sequence called the Fibonacci sequence. I don't know if any of you mathematicians out there, I'm sure you will have heard of it. And this kind of seemed very wizardly thing to base it on, the mathematical thing. So I based it on the Fibonacci sequence. That's the other thing that I did. And I love it. It's all garter stitch, apart from the edging, which does have some pearls, but not very much. So if you love garter stitch, and I found it really addictive because it's constantly changing, and the thickness of the stripes is constantly changing. So every time you knit a stripe, it looks slightly different, and it was a bit like knitting socks. I just wanted to get to the end of that stripe and the end of that stripe. And, because it was garter, you can just knit away, and it was lovely. So there we go. Ollivander shawl, yay!
Beautiful. So that'll be out mid-August then?
About mid-August, hopefully, but I'll obviously let you know when I've got a
And
date.
We took the Ollivander shawl with us.
We did.
And we took our the pictures for the pattern at Gromont Station.
We did.
Which was really cool.
And it looks lovely on the pattern. I was so thrilled to do that. It does look really nice on the pattern. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool. I do have one thing to show you.
Do you?
I do. I didn't get the opportunity to show you this last time.
Oh.
Look! Ha-ha!
Cool.
It is the Bakery Bears Lego journey. And this is probably my favourite ship. And I know that sounds crazy, doesn't it? So this is my absolute favourite ship. And I have no idea why, but I've always loved Y-Wing fighters. And Kay said to me earlier today, she couldn't really remember this one. I love the pilot. The pilot is seriously cool. That's Gold Leader. And this is a ship from...
Gold Leader. I can hear that in the film.
Yeah, totally. This is a ship from A New Hope. One of the reasons why I loved getting this ship was because you also...
He's cute.
Yeah. You also get Princess Leia in her medal ceremony at the end of New Hope outfit, which is a really cool little figure. But it's a really playable set, It's really easy to grab this in the middle and fly it around. And Bryony and I we would have battles where we would each get to pick a ship. And this would always be one of the first ones to get picked, just because you can sort of grab it and play with it. It also has little bombs that drop. If you watch... Whoa! That's so cool. Because they are bombers. That's what these things are.
Right.
So if you have Battlefront, if you're battling the AT-ATs, it's Y-Wings that come in and drop bombs on the AT-AT. So yeah, I love this ship. It's really, really good fun. If you get the opportunity to get one, they are quite difficult to get hold of. Mm-hmm. They weren't.
And we're wishing we bought 2 of them and stashed one in the loft.
We have done that actually with the Lego DeLorean. It's tough, the endy bits.
Endy bits.
Yes.
I've got a few endy bits today. I've made a couple of little purchases.
Good.
Just the one, I think.
This is Wembley.
Now I'll talk about it. Did I speak about this shawl on Pop?
Yes.
Right, so I haven't mentioned this shawl on the main podcast then.
No.
Right. There's a shawl pattern that I really, really want to knit. And I haven't started it because I've got to finish my Holbrook. I'm not going to start this till I finish my Holbrook. It's just ridiculous now. I've just got to get it finished. However, I decided to print the pattern and get the yarn ready. So I've ordered some yarn. The pattern is called, it's black and white this, but it's called Linian Tro. And it's this amazing shawl. I saw it because lovely Diane Knittables has knit one recently. She posted a picture on Instagram. I mean, go and have a look at it. It's just fantastic. The construction is amazing. It's got these triangles that you knit, and then you do garter underneath it, and then more triangles, and then this kind of triangle shaped border. But you use a slow colour changing yarn. I think it's either, I did get what it recommends actually. It's Lang Yarn's Milli Coloury Baby. These are 50 gram balls and it needs 5 of them. You need 250 grams. Now I ordered this online, and of course, you know, to be honest, I looked at the colour choices for days and days and days and days and couldn't decide, and then finally decided on this because I decided I wanted a more pastel-y sort of colour, and then I was going to do a dark grey for the contrast instead of in the pattern it's sort of this white. But when the yarn came, it's actually not very pastel-y. You know, it's like anything, it's just monitors, isn't it? I got colour number 52, and I'll show you a few of the balls. It's difficult because it's different in each ball, but I mean that one does look fairly pastel-y, doesn't it? But then if you look at another one, that one doesn't, you know, the greens. So, I was like, it's not quite what I wanted, and should I order some more? But then this cost, you know, it's £5 a ball. I can't spend another £25. That's ridiculous. So I am going to use this. And I think what I'm going to use for the contrast is I've got this skein of Mad Tosh Merino Light in Silver Fox. So I think it'll look nice, and especially when it goes, you know, with the darker. I think that'll be okay. Do you think that'll be okay? I think it will. So go and have a look at that pattern, the Linen Tro, if you haven't. And I've read through the pattern, and I think I really like the way that it's constructed. I think it'll just be really fun to knit. So that's going to be very soon, as soon as I finish my Holbrook soon, whenever that is, on the needles. But I wanted to kind of have it ready to go. So that was the little purchase that I made. And I've got a couple of things to add into our sock knit along prize pot.
Summer of Socks.
Yay!
It's not just sock knit along prize pot.
Sorry.
It's the epic Summer of Socks, which has a stupidly huge amount of entries.
I meant to check this morning, but I haven't. I think it must be over 500 now, is it? I haven't looked for a while. Amazing. So keep knitting your socks, everybody.
1,000 socks. That's what we need.
Now that I've sorted my issues out, I really want to get some cracking with some sock knitting. But I got sent a lovely skein of yarn from Zena. Hello, Zena. She sent us one of her yarns from her shop. It's a one-of-a-kind colourway. She's called it the Summer of Socks Cal Prize colourway.
Guess what, folks?
Yes,
you'll have the opportunity to win this in the Summer of Socks, but also if you're a patron of the Bakery Best podcast, we might just be featuring Zena's wonderful Etsy shop in the next issue of the Bakery Best News.
Brilliant. This is her Soprano BFL, which is 75 BFL, 25 nylon, in this beautiful, it's a very summery colour, isn't it? That would make a lovely, blueberry waffle socks would be fabulous in that. So thank you, Zena. So some lucky person is going to win that. And then we got this amazing parcel from Darina in Ireland. She said to me a while ago that she wanted to send us some Irish yarns, and that's so kind of her. You know, so she sent us this huge bundle of Irish yarns to do with as we wished, basically. So what I've done is I have kept a couple for myself.
What I love about what she's doing though is she's championing the Irish yarn industry.
These are all Irish yarns, and a lot of them I've never heard of, and they're all, it's just fabulous. Brilliant. So the bulk of it I've kept back, and I'm going to use them for future prizes. But I did keep one of them out to add into the sock knit along. So I hope that's all right, Darina, doing it that way. And it's this yarn, and it's by a dyer called Ellie and Ada, which I just love. It's hand dyed in County Meath in Ireland, that's Southern Ireland. It's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon, and the colourway is Swimming Togs, which I love. Look at that! Isn't that fabulous? And there's a really rich green round here. Oh, look at that. It's really beautiful. So someone will win that.
Yes.
Oh, just lovely. And there were some little stitch markers with it as well. not stitch markers, progress keepers. So I'll put one of those in with it as well. I have got another skein, so it'll have a little progress keeper as well. So Dorina, thank you so much. So that'll be another prize as well. So that's 2 more prizes. I think we're up to about...
It's officially...
12 prizes or something like that, or maybe more. I've kind of lost track.
It is officially too hot to knit.
It's really warm.
My hands are now not capable of working the needles
We've had to close all
they are too damp.
We've had to close all the windows and doors in the kitchen because it's so noisy from next door. Then the last thing I wanted to show you was, I got sent this last week, and this yarn is just so beautiful. Thank you so much. You know who you are that sent this. And it is Fishnets, Strong Heart, 2-ply fingering, and the colourway is 42 degrees opposite the sun, eyes half shut. Now this must mean something. I don't know what the meaning of this is. It maybe it's pop culture and it's lost on me, unfortunately. But it's beautiful. It's a self-striping when I show you the colours. Is that not just, could that be more me? So this will be cast on to take away with us on holiday. I just need to find a contrast colour for the heel. I'm going to pick out one of those colours and I'll just go through my stash and find something that contrasts. Is that not beautiful? Oh, thank you so much. I love it. Love it.
That everything?
Yes.
Wonderful. So folks, that is the end of episode 54. We will be back in 2 weeks with episode 55, where I will play my first round of the Knit or Forfeit Grand Final. And there is an announcement to make, and that is we are making a change to the rules. Now, it won't apply on the next round because Kay has already played her first round. So I will play my next round as normal, but then moving into the final 2 rounds, so when the tension really heats up, the new rule is this. If you choose to answer the question without hearing the multiple choice, you get 2 points instead of 1.
Ooh.
Come on. So the last 2 rounds will be particularly tense and exciting. But for all those people who are doubting my abilities of winning this competition, I have seriously been studying. So just Team Dan, please. There's too many hashtag Team K's out there. I don't think I've seen one hashtag Team Dan. Please, I need you.
I'm not going to revel because...
Believe in me.
I think a couple of people might have thought I was a bit too confident last time, so
trust me, she isn't.
I'm not going to revel, no, because I'm not.
She's going down, people.
I think I just got excited because I knew a couple of the answers, which I never do. So I think it just got,
So, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you in 2 weeks for episode 55.
55?
Yes. Now, next week we were due to do a Patron-only podcast on Friday, but we're going to be postponing that as we have done once before. So you won't be missing out. We will just do that late.
Because we're going away?
Yeah, well, we're going away to do the location filming at Hardwick for the second part of The Hunt for Harry Potter. So the next pot will be on the 12th of August, and don't miss it because there's going to be some cool stuff going on there. Tune in on Tuesday next week for the start of a brand new tutorial series. Don't say what it is, Kate. It's really exciting. It's a bit different. It's not something you've done for a little while. No, which is going to be really cool. Yeah. Tune in on Thursday for a brand new review, a Patron yarn review on Thursday, which will be really exciting.
Yes.
And yeah, loads going on as usual. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the first stage of our Hunt for Harry Potter.
And I hope you're staying cool.
Yes.
And no, I did not knit my jumper.
No, sorry.
I know a few people always ask me whenever I wear this jumper. I've got this in 3 colours. I didn't knit it. It's just shot put. So. Team
Dan, people, come on. Next episode, I need your support. I'm going to need your support on Instagram for questions. Come on, people, please help me. If I've got any chance of winning this, and I think we have nailed what our forfeits are. We'll be announcing that on the next episode.
Right, yes.
And it's pretty epic. My response when I saw what this thing is for me was worse than the Ricky hat.
Do I know what
you do know, Kate, because we spoke about this.
Oh, right.
Put it this way, this is a garment which I have criticised hugely whenever Kay has made one.
It's hilarious.
So you will find out on the next episode, and we have a really good one. I think we've nailed down a good one, all from suggestions from you for Kay as well. So thank you all so much for that.
Thank you for the suggestions.
Have an amazing couple of weeks.
I hope it's cool where you are.
Yes, and we'll see you next time for more Bakery Rose fun. Bye.
Who's it sitting and knitting? It's Dan and Kay, the bakery bears. Enthusiasm's not quitting for Dan and Kay, the bakery bears. They'll take you to fabulous places of which their favorites they'll share. You better buy a pattern and get yourself a bakery bear. You'll find yourself in a castle watching the bakery bears. It never feels like a hassle to sit and watch the bakery bears. What's on your shelf or what